You know what time it is. It's your favorite social media coach, Melle Howard. Coach Melle in the building with your favorite cool uncle, Uncle Flood, and they're going to take you inside the game. So sit down, relax, get your favorite beverage, and hang as they take you across the SWAT, especially in Southern University football and professional sports as they talk Monday Night Football here on Inside the Game. All right, let's get into it.
What's going on, Uncle Flood? Okay.
Hey, what's happening, nephew?
This new background.
The new set, you see it?
Oh, the new set is, I got to elevate the game. This new set is, I'm about to hook up some things. That look good. Jaguar looking down on us. I like that.
We need to look at on the days and times like this. We need the eyes of Macumba looking down on us.
Listen. We gonna get into all the things that was today and all the things that we missed last week. So special shout out to you for being back with us today. We had a family loss in Unc's family, so sending all the loves and prayers to Unc and his family during this time. But yeah, Unc, how are you? Let's start there. Like, how are you just in general? How are you?
I am amazingly calm and feeling okay, but I'm feeling some kind of way because I'm feeling bad for our elders today. That's kind of where I am. How are you?
If you follow me on social media, Unc, you know how I feel about Southern University. And I think for me, more than anything, I'm disappointed. Disappointed in the powers that be, and really just there's so many things that I want to talk about what happened today, and just in general. But I think that for me, it's a spirit of disappointment, and a spirit of disappointment in the powers that be, and also for the students who had to experience that level of disappointment and really have no control over like what that was. And I'm speaking about the band students and students who are like a part of this conversation. So for those that don't know what we're talking about, today, our beloved alma mater institution, Southern University, decided to host Fox News as well as the Faulkner Focus, which is a part of their daily lineup of shows on the campus of Southern University, with our band, with many entities that are a part of our institution being a part of this show. The host of Faulkner Focus is receiving the Chancellor's Award for Lifetime Achievement Award. And so they have cooned out and laid the red carpet out and really just placated to what I believe is an entity that is in a direct opposition to what our institution stands for and serves and the students and the population. And it's just disappointing and it's just discouraging. And they kind of just slapped it on us. Like it was very quiet and it just kind of came and here we are. So,
well, I think we got Ice Cube. If for those of you who don't know, for those of you who don't remember when Ice Cube had the platinum plan and he offered to meet with the Democrats and the Republicans, as soon as he sent the plan to the Republicans, they went public with it. I think we kind of got that situation, not letting that, and that is no excuse. But from what I've learned about the situation and what I've read, this was supposed to be to the Naval ROTC. I think we had some people inside of Southern that went above and beyond in misrepresenting the university, in my opinion. Yeah, I felt like they. For those of you who don't know, and I feel like there's an end game to this. I feel like there's a political end game. For those of you who don't know, this was supposed to be for the ROTC. Harris Faulkner is a child of a military officer, sort of in the same Sage Steele kind of vein. And she was supposed to be coming to talk to ROTC. If you know anything about our ROTC, it's considering we created 11 African-American generals and 2 African-American admirals, probably the most African-American commanding officers or commanding generals and admirals of any institution in the country. If you look at our ROTC right now, it doesn't look like that. Our ROTC looks very much like the majority school, like a majority school ROTC, and they are based, although they are called Southern University ROTC, Naval ROTC, Army, they are based pretty much out of LSU. They even take that. If you go and Google it right now, you'll see the group picture, and they're all at LSU. They're all taking their pictures at LSU. The commanding officers are almost all white. So I feel like that played a part in it. For that's just a part of what we had here. My biggest issue is the people who run the university, and I'm trying to be not cautious.
I get it.
I'm trying to be thoughtful in what I say, because I got a chance to sit down and talk to my mother and talk to some of the elders, and they are crushed by this.
Yeah.
And when they are crushed by this, I'm crushed. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them, and in particular for my mother, who is the person who actually created the Chancellor's Award.
Yeah.
That's literally her baby. So to watch this happen and to not find a reason, and I feel like they tried to hide it from us.
They did. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I feel like they tried to hide it, but then to implicate and put the students, if the ROTC students are involved, that's what it is. But then to put the band in it and to put students in the mix like that, I think it's shameful. And I think that we need to know who is responsible for this.
Yeah, and I think that the responsibility. Thank you for sharing that insight, Unc. I think the responsibility of this is quite interesting of who's going to own it. So I posted earlier. I sent an email to the Board of Supervisors. I sent an email to the Chancellor's office, and I also sent an email to President Shields, and I also posted to people about how they can engage and interact with the folks around this issue. So from what I'm hearing that there was a
Oh no, the people are coming after us. The people are coming after us. Coach Mills, his camera is frozen. They're coming after us, man. We speaking too much truth to power in here. Something is going on. We gonna.
Am I back?
Yeah, I think you're back. You just as you was about to get the big, you froze. They after us, man.
So, and it's crazy because my internet is showing that it's live. But anyway, if it goes out again, we'll deal with that. But so from what I'm hearing that our entities, the entities that are involved from Southern University, reached out to Fox News in order to do this like elevated proposal or promotion with the show being aired or whatever. And I think my issue with that is that, one, we're living in a world where, and I said this in my email, where the direct existence of why Southern University even exists is under attack. There are people every day, like right now, there's a list of things that I want to talk about as it relates to this issue, but there are people right now who are trying to cut funding from HBCUs at every turn. Have cut it at every turn. But in addition to the cuts that they're making, because the biggest cut that we know of right now is 1890 funding, which is direct funding that is received by Southern University for students to major in agriculture. And there is rumors right now that funding is going to be restored. But it's created such chaos. The reality, though, that the narrative around all of this anti-DEI stuff and our anti-existence, the rhetoric around that and the narrative of all this stuff is being carried on this show. And what drove me crazy the most today, was, yes, it was at Southern, pissed me off. Yes, they were using our students, pissed me off. But when these folks that represent our institution went on these segments with Fox News and started to spill out Fox talking points, like, if you're going to be on there representing Southern, like, talk about Southern and all of our greatness. But they on there talking about transgenders and Elon Musk and all of the Doge and all these things that are literally Republican talking points. And it's like, not only are you like disappointing by having this show here, but you are also feeding into the narrative that they're talking about that is literally anti-Southern and anti-our existence. I'm so disappointed with our leadership. Like Chancellor Pierre was my chancellor when I was a law student at Southern. He was my class was the last graduating class that he had as the law center's chancellor. And for you to be like your name to be all around this, I'm so disappointed in my leader. And that's what I told him. I was like, I've supported him since the beginning.
Yes.
I think the world of Chancellor Pierre. But this action just tells me that we're living in a time. You had Jeff Landry on the segment. Jeff Landry, the state of Louisiana right now owes Southern over $1 billion because they have not been properly.
Every time we start speaking some truth to power, what Tramel was saying, the state of Louisiana owes Southern University over $1 billion because the money from the federal government, they have never given us the actual funds that the federal government has allocated to Southern for over years and years of time. And there's a whole list of HBCUs who are 1890 land grant institutions who are owed billions of dollars. And
yeah,
Southern
I mean,
is at the top of that list.
So, and this is just some facts, and this came from Inside Higher Ed. Between 1987 and 2020, the state of Louisiana gave Southern less, like $4,000 less per student annually than they did LSU. So it's like you got the governor on here who is now in a place of power to be advocating for things like this. But instead of talking about that, and instead of talking about your commitment to that for the institution, like you get on here to spill Republican talking points. And I think that drove me crazy. I have never been more disappointed in Southern than I was today. And they've made a lot of bonehead decisions and have made a lot of bonehead moves that I think are like not impactful to the university, but today was like a slap in the face and icing on the cake. And someone posted on my comment on my Facebook, he said that what's the big issue when everybody just watched the Super Bowl on Fox Sports?
You can call the name out. You ain't stepping on my toes.
You're not on my stepping on toes, but I don't even feel like I need to give that energy to our show. But it's like, bro, it's like, do you understand like what this particular position and this show represents on our campus, on the bluff, on back there where the people, the four founders are laying? Like, what are y'all talking about, bro? It's just. It's totally different. It's two totally different scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, it's different carrying the Super Bowl on Fox. I think all of us have watched the Fox entity. People watch The Simpsons. Fox was built on In Living Color. Fox was really built on the backs of Black people.
Yeah.
The Fox network was really built on the back of a Black audience. And they've done what a lot of things in America do. They changed the game once they got to the point where they wanted to be. With that being said, comparing this to watching the Super Bowl and having them come on and spew Republican talking points over and over again live from the campus of Southern University is a world of difference.
It's a world of difference.
It's a world of difference. And if you don't see the difference, then I really can't bring you up to speed on that. That's on you. You got to catch that for yourself. Yeah. I think some people just want to be contrarian. I think for me, this is a disappointing moment. This is this is right up here with the Edwin Edwards celebration for me. And I was very disappointed. And for those of you, I have to explain, because I know when Black people in Louisiana hear Edwin Edwards, they think, well, what's wrong with that? Well, I felt like this was the same issue with the band. When Edwin Edwards passed away, when he died, we had a parade on our campus. One of the places we paraded by was called the Smith Brown Memorial Union.
Mm-hmm.
Those two young men were murdered by cops sent by Edwin Edwards on our campus. And not only did he send them on our campus, they murdered the two students, and then they covered it up and never revealed their name. And 40 years later, however long it was, when Edwin Edwards wrote his book, he said he would have done it again, and he had no regrets about it. And then when the man died after writing his book, we put a parade on the campus with our band to honor him. Yeah. Before this, that was the most disappointing moment for me in Southern. Today has been another low point
Yeah. And listen, I take all of the criticism, and we typically don't dive into politics on this show. This is like more literally the uplifting sports thing where we can have talk about all the fun things and etc. But I just thought we couldn't let this moment go by without
Yeah.
addressing
I
such.
think the people needed. I think the people need an outlet for what, because you could see the frustration, and like I said, particularly from our elders, from the people who are a little bit
Yeah.
older than me, from my mom's generation, for those people who really lived it, who really lived it. This was a disappointing time, but it goes back to what I said, and I had this discussion. A lot of our HBCU leadership are in the MAGA fold and have been in the Republican Party for a long time.
Yeah.
There's no way that you get to the point of power in the Deep South, be a Black person in a point of power in the Deep South, and get to these points of hierarchy without playing both sides of the fence, and for the most part being on that side of the fence. So it's not shocking to me that we see this from the leadership, because we've seen this from leadership all over the country. Although they play both sides of the fence and they tell us one thing, if you really look at it, a lot of leadership of our HBCUs, a lot of our presidents and chancellors are Black Republicans. A lot of them are MAGA. So
Yeah.
it doesn't make me feel good, but I'm not surprised by it.
Yeah, I think I honestly I'm not surprised by much, and I'm not surprised by like the decisions of our board, because our board is always,
It's
yeah,
political.
it's very political, and many of them got spots on the board based off of campaign contributions to our now governor. And listen, I understand that there is a certain way to play politics. I work for an organization and we consider ourselves bipartisan. And so I have had meetings with people who I don't really have value alignment with, but as a part of the work that I do, like sometimes I have to sit in rooms with these folks. But in this moment, like the way in the world we live in, there's a such thing as partnership, and then there's a such thing as value alignment. There is no value alignment between Southern University and what Fox News represents. There's no value alignment between Southern University and what this particular Faulkner focus represents. I grew up in a world where all skin folks ain't kin folks. So she is Black and she's the first Black woman with a whatever, whatever, whatever. But what that news entity has represented, especially since the MAGA movement has started, it is in direct opposition to why we exist as an institution and why we exist as people. And so for us to placate to that in the way that we did, in addition to a member of our legislative Black caucus giving her like the key to the city and naming it Faulkner Day, it's just beyond me that as a people that we have shown that we have no spine. We have no backbone for the people who make us exist. The reason that those folks have jobs from Southern is not because of the political stuff. It's because Black students come to our school and entities come to our school to get a fighting chance. And we have always represented opportunity. And nothing about this day represents what Southern University stands for and what I know to be true about the Southern that I love. And so
And every time Tremel starts speaking truth to power, then they start messing with the internet. But I agree with him. The values and I don't want to sugarcoat this or live in this fantasy world about Southern leaders, from Joseph Clark to Felton Clark to G. Leon Netterville, on through and through, have made decisions and done things that without the approval of a student body and it's, and a lot of times the alumni, but I feel like this is a different time. I feel like this is they've all made deals with the quote unquote devil before. All of our every bit of our leadership has always made deals with the devil. That's always been a part of it. But I felt like this was a time. I felt like we reached out to the devil. I don't think the devil, for lack of a better word, I felt like we went down and we reached out. I don't think they came to us. I don't think Harris Faulkner wanted to come to Southern. I think we went out and sought it, and I think that's what makes it even more painful that the leadership went out and brought her in. to the fold. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and that's exactly what everyone who had something to say has said, is that it's a one thing for us to like have a partnership that like a mutually exclusive, like a mutual partnership, because partnership is transactional. So if
Yes.
I'm giving out something, then you are giving out something. So for us to give a platform for them to talk about, they had a segment where like honoring Black History Month on Southern's campus. Y'all had no intentions on honoring Black History Month, because you are the ones who are carrying the rhetoric or why DEI initiatives should be eliminated from this country in general. And so it just was so contradictory to the things that they quote unquote had to say versus the actions that they take on a day-to-day basis. And we literally are fighting for our existence daily in this country right now. And so to give a platform to the leader of that narrative is gross misconduct, it's gross negligence, it is all the things gross, and I am not happy about it. And I'm gonna continue to say how not happy about it I am, and I don't care who like it. I don't care if I get ousted out of the Christmas party list or the Christmas invite list. I mean, I pay my way to everything I go to for Southern anyway. Nobody gives me nothing, so let that be clear.
Yes, I like I said, I would like whoever's decision this was, I would like them to step forward and give a reason.
A rationale.
Give a rationale. Maybe it's something that we don't understand, but don't come, because right now I feel like you're treating us like we're dummies. Like you're saying, we're just going to do this. They're not going to understand. They don't understand politics. They don't understand the game. We just playing the game. I feel like you're talking down to us now by making no comment or not acknowledging the frustration and the anger of the alumni and student body and the people who care, the people who are invested in Southern University. So, that's an issue that I think needs to be addressed. And I also think that this is the time, as people who are the people who care about Southern, the people who are invested in Southern, that we really need to take a time to get involved. Like I say, voting matters. How much we support our university financially matters. Speaking, because I guarantee you, if whoever made this decision felt that they would be threatened with the loss of donations, with the loss of support, other than talking, I promise you this decision would have been made with a lot more care, or they wouldn't have made this decision at all. The fact is, they have no fear of loss. They don't fear. That's one of the when you learn, I've been in sales for a long time. When you're in sales, one of the first things they teach you is creating the fear of loss, creating the idea that I'm going to lose something if I don't make this deal now. Our board, our chancellors, our president, they don't have a fear of loss. So they're not worried about, they figure we'll be mad for a little while, we'll raise some hell for a little while, and then it'll fade away and everything will go back to normal.
Yeah, and I think that's what part of what I put this in my commentary is part of what I said in 2025 is that like I wanted to be more engaged with like the advocacy piece of what it means to be like a supporting alum of this institution, and I think that's a lost art for a lot of us, is that we use platforms like Facebook and then we're just kind of done with it, but we don't create the momentum like with email campaigns and like showing up to like meetings and board meetings to like to voice our discomfort and displeasure with things like this. And so I think that this is like a springboard to like be more engaged and help people understand like the power of advocacy. Because even if it's just an email, like an email coming from 100 people is much better than an email coming from just me and just Uncle Flood. And like, so how do we create the momentum to let people know that we are watching and like accountability is real? And a lot of us like blindly support our institutions. And like, I'm not going to stop supporting Southern because of this, but I will create platforms and create opportunities to voice my disdain for this. And I'm also mad that they had the ban spelling out Fox News on the basketball court, because now I feel like our basketball teams are cursed. We didn't win. The 49ers only won one more game after Nick Bosa came on the camera with that Make America Great Again hat. Like we literally got cursed.
you know they're set. Look, now you want to see Jaguar fans really pissed off? You want to see them really mad? Let us go and lose two games. Lose these two home basketball games. After spelling Fox on the court.
And it's
they're gonna need some help getting in on and off the yard. I'm just saying.
I mean, because That's ridiculous. So like now you're
that's
doing
bad juju. That's bad
like
juju.
that's bad juju. I witnessed it with my NFL team. Like literally, I was like, wow, we only won like one game after the Make America Great Again hat appearance by Nick Bosa. And so it's like, it's that, and it's just like the Pope band kids, like they just literally go into whatever they are like, asked to be at or whatever they are asked to do. And same for like the band director. And I mean, people have difference of opinions, but some folks are like, oh, y'all are so small minded because this is just a show. It's like, it's so much bigger than a show in these times. There is a difference between the Republican Party and the MAGA movement and what we're living in now.
And let me tell you about what is going to happen. That overhead shot of the band spelling Fox with the Southern University logo on the basketball court is going viral.
Yeah,
that's going to be used against us from now until.
Oh, they already called the Southern University MAGA College.
Our Southern Knights, to our people who are invested, people who care about Southern, stop sharing that. A lot of times at Southern, what we do when we get upset, we create our own bad moment and we spin it over. We've seen this before. Stop doing it. It's okay to discuss it amongst ourselves and be upset, but stay off of social media, spreading it around. Yeah. Because what you're doing is you're giving ammunition to our competitors. You're giving opportunity. Stop it. Let's keep this in-house. Let's do this in-house. Stop and come up and let's have a strategy about how we attack this. Yeah. And I understand people are upset and all of that. I get it. But let's have a strategy about how you do this and how you handle this. Because a lot of times we've seen it before. I won't mention past incidents, but we've seen it before where we create our own viral moments where nobody else really cares. Nobody else is concerned. And we keep sharing it and talking about it and taking it out of the house. To then people get involved and it becomes a worldwide story. So let's not do that. But let's definitely sit down and stay diligent on voicing your opinion, talking to the leadership, communicating with leadership about this, so they know that this cannot happen again.
Yeah, I think I think that our advocacy has to remove from just Facebook. And we have to express it directly to the powers that be and the people who have the power of level of change. Because I'll tell you that some of the communication that I got today was not just from like people and alum and supporters. Like I talked to vice chancellors, I talked to other upper administrators who feel like hoodwinked where they can't say nothing publicly, but they have a disdain for that. And so I appreciate those folks for just opening up to share like, hey, I just want you to know like this as a person who sits wherever I sit, like this also is a surprise to many of us. Yes. And shout out to the students that did participate in the silent protest. So they asked the students to show up into this particular part of this promotional stuff. And the students refused. And so a large group of places where they were supposed to have a large number of students, the students refused to go. Shout out to the NAACP chapter at Southern University. So the students are standing in opposition of this, maybe not vocal in many causes, but they
shout out to the band. Shout out to the band for their it was a small protest, but I ain't never seen Southern do a crooked letter anywhere. So shout out to the I know it was the best y'all could do. I know y'all had to do it, but I feel like
it was intentional. It was intentional. I
felt like that was the only way they could protest was to make that crooked X. So I feel them on that. Shouts out to them, It
almost felt like a middle finger. So no, for real though. And that's what the part about it is. So there, for folks who are in an uproar, I think that you are very valid in your concerns. But like I said, I've shared on my personal Facebook how and who to email the powers that be to make sure that we get out in front of this situation, to make sure that people are watching them, because accountability goes a long way with folks who are leadership. And you may not think that your email makes a difference, but having to read emails over and over and over and over again and disdain, even if you're just flooding the inbox, makes a difference when we're talking about advocacy and making making changes. So we had to address that at the top of the hour. And so thank you for all who have tuned in for that. And so in more unfortunate, sad news, over the weekend, we lost what I would call a Southern legend, Coach Wallace, just a beautiful human being. And so this is the information about his memorial that will take place on Friday at 10 o'clock a.m. In lieu of flowers, the family is asking that we visit the wallacefoundation.br.org to give it his honor. The ceremony is going to start directly at 10 o'clock at the FG Clark Activity Center. And there will be no viewing post ceremony. So they're asking that you view the body between 8 and 10. Arrive early. And also, I think tomorrow we'll get more information. I think tomorrow there's also a percentage off / percentage of proceeds going to the Wallace Foundation if you make a purchase through the Anthony Lawrence collection. So we'll get that information to you guys as well. Any thoughts about
the Franz? Send us that information. I see you on here. Send us that information, please.
Let
us know what's going on.
Thank you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to ask you any thoughts about the life, the legacy of Coach Wallace.
Well, Sean was my peer. He was my friend, and have known him for a long time. And I feel like it's odd saying that because Sean was a lot of people's friends. Like he was one of those people that made you feel like your friendship was so intimate. But he was that kind of guy. He was a great person. He and I were in school. He was a few years behind me, so he was in school with me. But we got to be friends away from Southern. As we got older and stuff, we started to run into each other and talk a little bit. And as I was getting closer to the university and working with the university, Sean wasn't as close at that time. And through a lot of our conversations, he started to get reinterested in the university. And I remember when Dr. William Broussard was there, I talked to Dr. Broussard about inviting him back to be a captain, honorary captain, and he came back and we got his family, and he got back in the fold. And when he got back in the fold, he got back in wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And he, I mean, just the person that Sean was always an intense, direct, purposeful person. And he took that, and as he became a mature man, he affected people's lives in a way that not a lot of people can really have that kind of effect. And we lost a great one, but he left a hell of an impact on the people around him, the student athletes, the people in the community, his friends, his family. I mean, like, just you see and hear the people talk, and you see the words and the writing and everything. Sean never met somebody who wasn't his friend. And if you weren't his friend, then there was something wrong with you. But yeah, so I'm going to miss him. He fought the good fight. I'm going to miss him. And like I said, if there is a true Jaguar legend, it's definitely Sean. If there's a Jaguar, Sean Wallace. If there's a legend in Southern University athletics as a Southern University person, then there is Sean Wallace. So, we're going to miss him. We love him. And I think for somebody who left us at what would be considered an early age, man, Sean lived his dash.
Yeah.
He lived his dash, man. So that,
Yeah, I mean, legend indeed. I think I go my like I didn't know him personally, but outside of our work with the quarterback club and seeing them, the amount of commitment he showed to Southern, even once he was diagnosed, was like one that's commendable. How he still showed up and traveled and came to games and still coached and did all of the things that, that his love for Southern was like deep and real. And I mean, even as a player, you see that. But definitely a legend, definitely a life to remember, and one that we will remember. And he will be missed on the campus, just his energy and all the things. So we truly are Sean Strong. And so my heart, our prayers go out to the family and to everyone dealing with this. And yeah, the legend that is Sean Wallace. Again, services are on Friday, Mini Dome, 10 o'clock. So go out, support the family. In lieu of flowers, visit the Wallace Foundation BR to make a financial contribution to his foundation. So thank you so much for that. We missed the last week because Unc had unfortunate situation in his family. But I wanted to say, Unc, that what a beautiful part about last week, us missing, is I went to a basketball game, and after the games, like some people came running up to me, and I'm like, "What?" So shout out to Teldrin, he's on live. But there's also one of our other friends, Leonard, who's moved to Denver, Colorado. And he was like, "Man, where y'all was tonight?" And I'm like, "Oh, Unc had a family situation that we didn't come on tonight." And they quoted your saying of like the show you never knew that you needed.
Yeah.
And so it's just good that people are truly rocking with us in season 2, as it relates to like inside the game, and like you can still become a part of the action, become a proud sponsor of the show. We look forward to all of the support. I mean, literally, we don't get to do this show without you guys.
That's
So
right.
this support is second to none. Shout out to We Grow People, who is our title presenters and helpers, and they
Yes.
put the
Yes.
production together.
Yeah.
Shout out to Roxy, who's you never see her, but she is always on it, in a different time zone, waking up early to work with us,
Turning the buttons, making us look good. Turning
making
the
us
buttons.
look
Shout out to
good.
Roxy. Yes,
Man,
making us look good.
shout
I
out
tell
to
you what, man.
go
But
ahead.
We Grow People. Y'all go find them. Go on Google. Go on wherever you can go and give them 5 stars for us.
Yeah.
Y'all go find We Grow People and give them 5 stars for us on Yelp, wherever you can go, because they are top notch. And shout out to Roxy and for doing a hell of a job.
Yes, Roxy and Wiley, they be on us and we not even on it. They're like thinking about things that we haven't thought about and doing things that we haven't thought about. And so yeah, we really appreciate this. We appreciate the show. We look forward to more and upcoming seasons. But in that vein, we do have a lot of sports going on inside of the Jaguar Nation, inside the SWAC, and we are doing pretty darn good right now. Like we have been wanting like this consistency of like competitiveness, and listen, we got it going. So we'll end with basketball because that's like our prime season right now. But baseball season has kicked off. And shout out to the baseball team. I think that this has become my favorite Southern sport, and I thought I would never say that. I love football.
It grows on you, doesn't it?
I love basketball, but Southern baseball, when I tell you I'm locked in,
yes.
I'm
I tell
locked
people
in.
they are missing something when they miss Southern baseball, man. I've been locked in for years. I don't look, they've been a little mad with me for the past few years because I've been critical, but deservedly so. But I feel like this team, I feel like they have pulled it together. I feel like Coach Crenshaw has learned and grown in his job, and I see great things on the horizon for them. I'm telling you, if you miss Southern University baseball, you are missing a treat. I'm telling you, it's the longest running championship tradition on the campus.
Listen. So basketball and football, since I was a child, my family, we were committed to. We would make a baseball game here or there when we play LSU or whatever. But shout out to the 2019 team, where we had Jay Williams, Jacob Snyder, Austin Hensel, Tyler Laporte. That team and that family, those families, like really like pulled us in. And I ain't let baseball go since. I'm on it. We have a very young team this year. A lot of freshmen, and so like we haven't seen the cusp of what this team can be. But I like what I see. They have energy like no other. They are definitely like into it, and you could tell it's just new. It's a newness to them as freshmen, like most of the team, that I think is going to take us a long way. And I just like to see young kids committed to whatever they're playing and have a pride for the institution that they're playing for. And this team have it. I got an opportunity to go to Houston for the first opening series, and it was a lot of good things I saw from the team. The home opener is tomorrow, so if you can get to first pitch at Mumford, look at me, at Lehigh tomorrow, you can check it out. I think we have a schedule. If we can put the baseball schedule up that's coming up. If not, we'll get that to you guys. But we have a game tomorrow. So shout out to the baseball team and all of that as it relates to baseball.
Baseball is like Barg said, it's that sport where you can beat any team in the country. You can beat the number one team in the country on any given night. And Southern has been able to do that They have a long history of success, and it's exciting. Like, people
Yep.
really underestimate baseball. It's really exciting and enjoyable. It's nothing like it. And if you come to a home game, the concessions are unmatched. The concessions are unmatched. I promise you, there are people who literally come to Southern home games just for the concession stand. So if you think you're not a baseball fan and you're a fan of chicken wings and jambalaya, stuff like that, come and enjoy the chicken wings and jambalaya, and then you'll turn into a baseball fan. I promise you.
You will. I mean, and listen, I see people in here talking about the legendary Bo Ben and
Bo Ben,
Poe
that's
Ben,
right.
and also his broom. Yeah, and then I think Vargas in here is talking about the 01 to 04 teams. I mean, we've had some exciting baseball teams and
Yes.
some exciting baseball years. So if you have not had an opportunity to check out the baseball team, we'll be posting the schedule continuously, but check out the baseball team, and really excited about this year and the support that we can get. The tournament has moved back to Birmingham, so let's go out and support our team and be legendary. So with our final 20 minutes, we have to talk about the season that we're currently in the prime of, and that is basketball. So first of all, shout out to Coach KJ Kevin Johnson. People wrote him off from the moment he was hired, but he is building what I believe to be a solid program at Southern. What's your thoughts on basketball?
I kind of, for basketball, I kind of had a wait and see attitude.
Mhm.
Could they, I know last year they had a little, we saw the swoon. They started out hot, and then all of a sudden they fell off and they struggled at the end of the season. This team seems to be able, like a lot of teams who they played a lot of games and they
Mhm.
struggle, but they found ways to win games.
Mhm.
And I feel like that is an encouraging sign for Southern University basketball on both sides of Jaguar basketball, the women and the men's team. But Coach KJ has the men's team rolling. I think they have 4 games left in the season. They have a Florida trip and they have the Alabama schools at home. If they can finish out this season real strong, and I'm not even asking them to go undefeated. I just want them to play well and finish out strong and get ready for the tournament, because what we all know is the tournament matters in the
Yeah.
SWAC. That's how you get to the NCAA tournament. And I feel like this team can be competitive with teams in the NCAA tournament. And the way the rankings are falling out now, the way the seedings are falling out, if they continue to win, they probably will be a 15, a 14, or a 15 seed and won't have to play in the play-in game, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, that's a big deal. So I'm very happy about what I'm seeing. I believe Coach Kevin Johnson is building a solid program. Just he's
Mhm.
recruiting the portal well. He's brought in some young guys, and I think obviously the man knows what he's doing, and I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean, again, going back to energy, effort, the energy and effort that we play with consistently game to game is amazing. Our last outing against Grambling, first of all, shout out to the Jaguar Nation. Let me tell you something. We took over Frederick's
Obvious.
Hobbies College Assembly Center, whatever they call it up there. The students brought 3 buses. There was a bus full of folks from the 6-man club, and then individuals who drove on their own. It really felt like we were in Mumford. I'm ready to get for football season. Felt like we were in Mini Dome. I mean, it was great energy. So shout out to the basketball team. Shout out to the Jaguar Nation for that. And Varg just said we are 3 games ahead right now of Jackson State in
Yes.
basketball with 4 games remaining, so we could clinch this thing out for a regular season championship. And then there's a new tournament that I think I'm hearing about for the top 4 teams or something that don't qualify for NCAA's. They go to some Black College Invitational they're having this year. But
Okay.
we are aiming for complete domination and getting to the NCAA tournament and making some noise. Right now, bracketology has us as a 16 seed playing in a play-in game. Before the loss to Alabama State, we did not have any. We wasn't in the play-in game, but as right now, Joe Lenardi has us playing in the play-in game for a 16 seed. But either way, let's make a deep run. Support the team. The tournament is in Atlanta, March 11th through the 15th. So we look forward to showing up. We need to show up and show out for both of our teams. The women right now are tied for let me pull up the standings for them.
The women are tied. They're in a 3-way tie for first with the. Well, actually, Jackson State lost.
Yeah,
They're in a 2-way tie for first
yeah,
now.
right. And so they're only a half game out of first with Texas. And something about that half game tells me that it's because Texas Southern has played a game more than us.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Because we own the tiebreaker. So if we finish the season with the same record, we would be we should be the regular season champions and the number 1 seed going into the tournament. And so that is it's exciting, and I'm looking forward to being in Atlanta. I plan on being there the entire week. So you guys come on out. The basketball tournament is a good time. They got mandates for bands this year and auxiliary squad, so it should be a good time. It's in a new arena and a very smaller arena, but I think a lot of people should come out, show out. There's a lot of events surrounding the tournament that you can find on the SWAC website. So yeah, we it's on fire on Leora right now.
That's right. And if you're willing to sponsor us, we'll even broadcast live and advertise your sponsorship. So get at us. Let us know if you want to sponsor sponsor Inside the Game live from Atlanta for the SWAC basketball tournament.
That would be beautiful. I'm waiting on the media credentials stuff to come out for the tournament. This could be our first official SWAC affiliate together covering a SWAC tournament together. So this could be our first official coverage together as Unc and Coach Melle. So as soon as those credentialing come out, we plan to apply and be all live there. But we'll be there. So feel free to hit up us for sponsorship.
I have to agree. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I have to agree with Bart. We have to give the women's team some credit. Yes. They are really playing well, and they went in on a mission against Grambling, and they left no doubt. They went in there and they beat Grambling on their home court, which traditionally is a tough place to play, but they went in and left no doubt. They're playing really good basketball right now, and I like what I see. I've given Coach Funches a hard time over the last couple of years.
Same.
I really like what I see, and I like the way this team is developed. They're athletic. They rebound well, and they have good guard play. And if you're going to be successful in the NCAA tournament or in the postseason period, you have to have good guard play. He seems like he's finally found them some guards who can handle the ball and who can score. So shouts out to the Southern University women's team. They're not the Lady Jaguars, by the way. They're the Southern University women's basketball team. All right.
I'm also guilty of calling them the Lady Jags. In my post-game posts, I called them the Lady Jags versus whatever nickname I give to the opposing team. But I was getting ready to transition to Coach Funches and staff and team as we talk about the tournament, because we have an opportunity to have like double header days the way the timing is going out with the tournament. And yeah, I was very impressed with the way they played at Grambling. I have been critical to your point of Coach Funches, and I'd be feeling like, what we doing? Like, what's happening? But they are playing at a high level, to Varrick's point. And it was very just fundamentally sound against Grambling. I'm talking about on the floor, getting loose balls, rebounding, moving on offense, setting screens properly, ball, like all the things that you want in a good quality basketball team, shot selection, making shots. It's been beautiful to see. I'm excited about the tournament and what we are able to do to reclaim Southern University's name in the midst of all of the foolery that we've talked about today.
Yes. I really would. In the midst of everything that is going on today, I'm glad we had some good things to talk about in baseball and basketball, because today was kind of a dreary day. It was a sad day on the Bluff.
It was a sad day on the Bluff, and I just think that as we get ready to close out this segment, I was getting ready to talk about softball's big win over Stephen F. Austin in the Monroe Invitational or the Warhawk Invitational this past weekend. So, I mean, our teams are competing at a high level. So shout out to Coach Brittany and staff on the baseball side. Our teams are competing at a high level. I think that my charge to the Jaguar Nation is to continue to show up for them because those student athletes really do appreciate the support. And I think sometimes it goes unnoticed, or we feel like the students don't appreciate it, but they truly do appreciate the support. And when we show up for them in ways that that's there, and to be vocal and supportive, I think that we have to continue to show up for them, even when we feel like we're getting the short end of the stick on some things. Like, at the end of the day, it's about the students, and their support means the world to them.
Yes.
Let's find ways to support our entities. Any last minute shout outs, any last minute topics that you want to discuss before we get out of here for today?
Shouts out to my man Jarvis Antoine and the Antoine Law Firm. They always support us, have been supporters of us. Really appreciate them. Y'all check them out. The Antoine Law Firm, Jarvis Antoine, right there in downtown Baton Rouge, alumna of the Southern University Law Center. So check him out. Big sponsor of our show, big supporter of the show. So appreciate y'all.
Yes, and if you know any other businesses who want to be spotlighted or sponsored here on our show, please feel free. If you have a business that you want to become a sponsor of Inside the Game, we're growing this thing 1 week at a time, and I'm really excited about what's to come.
Let me say this too. I talked to Jarvis Antoine. He actually hit me up and was like, "Man, y'all been running my ass. Y'all been promoting me." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I can tell." He's like, my website, he's like, my site has really been getting a lot of hits, and my social media has been getting a lot of hits. So we are very effective at what we do.
Effective.
Y'all continue to hit that up. Hit him up, 225-383-7800. And if they're like my man Coach Melle said, Melle tells y'all, if there are any other businesses that want to advertise on Inside the Game, want to promote on Inside the Game, holler at us and let us know. You can pick us up and listen to us in Alexandria on KTTP 11:10 a.m. on Saturday mornings. You can download the KTTP app and listen anytime. Of course, you can catch us on Inside the Game here on Mondays from 6 to 7. So, we're all over the place. We're growing it slowly but surely. Like Coach Melle said, we're making it happen.
Yes, I love it. I love the show. I always talk about my story. I was a broadcast major. I used to work in sports. I never thought that this opportunity, this platform would present itself. It happened over a conversation. So shout out to Unc for pushing me to take it to the next level. And we're here, and we're on season 2, and we got people watching. Like, it's crazy. It's wild. So I love it. I'm excited about it. Before we go out, this is our website information. So feel free to visit our website. You can send that to your potential sponsors. It has all the information about what we do in the show and how we can be of support to them as well. We have a shout out in the chat for our gold medalist, ranked number 20 in the nation, Tanisha Alessi, I think is her last name. Indoor track. Also YouTube page. Like, share, subscribe. That goes a long way. Also, it's showing us support. So feel free to like, share, subscribe to our YouTube.
Go to Inside the Game with Coach Melle and Uncle Flood. Not just Inside the Game. Go to Inside the Game, Coach Melle and Uncle Flood on YouTube. Go like, subscribe, look at it over and over again. Send it to your friends. All of that stuff. Run the YouTube numbers up.
Yes, let's run these YouTube numbers up. And so with that, we have had a jam-packed session today. Next week is Mardi Gras, and Lundi Gras and all the things. So we will be in touch about how we're gonna do this, our show and our segments. But yeah, just stay tuned.
I'm working on my footwork, baby.
Listen, my footwork is ready. I'm just waiting on my suit to come in. So
I know that's right.
For the people in powers that be at these shipping sites, make sure I get my suit by Friday, because I'm gonna be disappointed if I don't. But we're gonna give you guys about 5 minutes back of your time before we go. Unc, hit us out.
If the man upstairs says the same, we'll be back at the same time in the same place, because big players make plays, big games makes us big time, and that's why we always take you inside the game.
Have a great day.